I've recently been thinking about the work that I do with the EcoPsychology Initiative, and I keep coming back to the analogy of being a chef and putting together a cookbook. Because on the one hand, at the EcoPsychology Initiative, we have a number of recipes and foods that we work with that feel really distinctly and decidedly ours. And on the other hand, I continue to take great joy and gratitude in finding ideas and inspirations and flavors and ingredients from other people across different times and traditions and teachings, those that might be explicitly in ecopsychology and otherwise, and being able to integrate that into our lens and framework and then share it with others. And an example of this recently that came up was Jem Bendel and his work with deep adaptation, and he talks about 3 different R's: resilience, relinquishing, and restoration, that's involved in this deep adaptive work for what's happening on our planet. And we reference some of this psychologically in our resilience training, but I was thinking about this in a different context, and it relates to our upcoming nature of leadership training. And thinking about the different roles of leaders, I kept coming back to 4 different R's. One is to be able to reimagine, to see a scenario, system, or situation and have a vision for what is possible, for the changes that are needed to bring this scenario back into greater health and well-being. And so that capacity to reimagine and vision for what is possible and needed seems a really important role of leadership, as is renewal, which is recognizing what are the seeds of change that can bring about the outcomes that we are wanting for the vision that some of us may have had. The third R is regeneration, that what are existing features in any type of scenario that are healthy, that we want to revitalize and take care of and expand and empower even more. And the fourth R of leadership, as I think, is resistance, of recognizing when something is unjust or unhealthy or just isn't of service to the scenario and life at hand, and knowing how to resist and the strength and the skills needed in that. And so I think not all leaders necessarily need to have all 4 R's, but to the extent that they can nurture those, the better. And some naturally are going to gravitate to some of these roles more so than others. But that is part of the focus in our upcoming Nature of Leadership training, is looking how can we empower people with skills and strategies for these 4 different roles of leadership, as well as some of the many other roles that are involved. And so I'm really looking forward to this training because I think there is a real need. Like, let's be honest, there's a lack of leadership in a lot of different contexts right now, economically, politically, environmentally, and we're not finding leadership from our political power brokers, our corporate suites, and otherwise. And so there is a need to support those existing and established leaders in doing good work already. How do we support them? How do we empower them with what they're needing to do their work even more effectively, as well as giving the inspiration and the encouragement for those people who are maybe developing or aspiring leaders, and how can we help them make even more of a positive impact in their own lives, as well as their communities, their work, the situations that they may find themselves in. So our upcoming training, Nature of Leadership, is going to be looking to do exactly this, and specifically from the context of ecopsychology and psychological biomimicry, by which I mean using nature's most important teachings and principles and qualities, and those that we find ecologically, how can we incorporate those psychologically into the human realm? And when we do that, leadership not only naturally happens, but can be enhanced for those that are seeking to have that type of impact. And one of the beautiful things about ecopsychology, and I think leadership as well, is that it's not just what we do, but it's who and how we are. And so part of the focus of the training, and it's the reason we have the tagline, transforming our world inside and out, is it's not just the steps of what to do and these kind of surface actions that are needed, but it's also how do we transform who and how we are showing up in these many contexts of our lives so that we can make the most positive impact, so we can have the healthiest difference possible. And so I look forward to offering this training, to sharing about ecopsychology, but also finding the ideas and inspirations from others, those of you that are established leaders, those that are wanting to be more of those leaders in your own lives, And in that way, we are like the cookbook. We're gathering all people from different contexts to share the ideas and ingredients, recipes, and flavors that we can all benefit from. And in this way, we move forward, making the type of impact that our world needs, that we want for ourselves and for others. So I hope you'll be interested. And if you are, you can go to our website to get more information and to register. Don't hesitate to reach out with more questions. But as always, be well, and nature knows the way.